Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. Everybody was appropriately um I don't want to say fake, cautious. So we pick up where we left off on the rooftop where Nene had just walked up. And there was, still conversation being had with the ladies about, they were just finishing up this conversation where Kenya was apologizing for not trying to ruin the proposal. I mean, we all know what it is. And I don't think Tanya wasn't there. And so she was like, well, how was it? I hate I missed it and all of that. And all the ladies said it was very nice. It was very sweet. And it was great. It was beautiful. And the girls were involved and all of this stuff. And Nene just sat there quiet because while she did send a card and a cheese tray, she herself did not show up. And she admitted in her confessional that it was awkward and she wished they were in a better place. It would have been awkward if she had have shown up. I mean, I guess the fight for her friendship with, it would have been more about the two of them maybe than it was about Cynthia and Mike and in the wine bar. So I just I've been in that place where I've had a really good friend, and for one reason or another, I wasn't able to make a very important event in that person's life. And I know it always bothered me. It always bothered me that I didn't make it. So I'm sure it bothers Nene to a certain degree. She wasn't included on this moment. And later we see where the ladies are going to leave the rooftop, which is like a happy hour type thing. They're going to leave there and they're going to go into the city. Apparently what they do is they debut all of the carnival float outfits, and they really are like floats but outfits. So um, huge wings and layering and fabric and costuming, but and then there's these wheels. It looks like a triangle of wheels underneath it. So the person who is dancing and moving is actually pushing and pulling and moving the whole costume. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing, actually. I thought that was really um, just a great idea. I would love to go to Carnival because just everything that goes into it, especially in Canada, which I think is the second largest event, carnival event that happens. Um, it was really brilliant. It's like a whole week of activities, or a few, at least 3 or 4 days of activities leading up to the actual carnival. And so the ladies all seemed to really enjoy that. They were dancing and moving. Nene was dancing and moving around and getting it and so on and so forth. Um, she was a little put off that Giovanna had that blonde hair. She didn't really care for that at all. So when they get done with that, they go back and we see where um, Tanya and Candy and Nene and Giovanna and Marlo are all, I think, in Nene's suite, and they're talking and they talk about the proposal, and Candy, kind of, explained her side of it a little bit, and Nene was just, she just kind of seemed like she really felt for Cynthia. She was really happy for Cynthia and that type of thing. Um, Candy wants to know who the snake is, and you know how Nene does. She just does all these little awkward things, to just fill the space instead of having honest communication with people. Um, First it was Tanya wasn't there. Tanya's ringing the doorbell, and Nene tell Yvonne to get up and go get it. She point to her, you go get up and go get the door. I was like, girl, I'm telling you. I did. I had a friend that was that way, that felt like for whatever reason she could talk to me in any kind of way and diminish me and order me about, and I had to shut that down. I had to shut that down. Like, I'm not trying to start no fight or nothing, but you need to watch your damn mouth. Okay? How you talking to me? How you ordering me about? I'm a whole grown woman. And she got a whole husband. You know, I would have been like, what you supposed to say? That's not my door, that's your door. I don't get it. I don't understand. And then when she was on her way to the door, she told her, I told you about that blonde wig. I'm the only one that does blonde. I was like, oh, ooh, 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 ooh. Just, so why Yvonne keep playing the role? I mean, she keeps interjecting in the conversation like she's trying her best to seem like she's getting along with the girls, and she's mixing and she's mingling and blending with the girls really well. But really, she is still the gnat in the soup. You know what I'm saying? She's the ant at the picnic. Like, there's no way around it. There's nothing likable or memorable about her. She doesn't even get confessional conversation. There's no confessional video of her talking. She is below Marlo, basically. You know, so when she gets up and goes to the door, and it's Giovanna, and Giovanna comes in and speaks to everybody. Child. Marlo gonna tell her that come through Gucci, go Chanel, looking like Chanel's secretary. You know I mentioned that last week that she dressed a little bit like the Duchess of of Essex. I mean, I know it's Chanel, I know it's Gucci, but it is a bit prudish. What she wears is a bit prudish, and I'm just saying, it's a bit prudish. Sometimes she can be a bit prudish. So, then they start talking about, okay, well, you're not going to tell me about Snakegate. And Candy asked Nene. Nene wouldn't tell. She asked Yvonne. Yvonne was like, I don't know nothing about it. She said, well, you ain't going to tell me about that. Tell me about who's talking to B. Scott. What are you talking about? Well, how did they get all the details of everything that was in Cynthia's card? And Nene was like, I don't know. One thing people got to know about me, and I don't put nothing past nothing that's wrapped in flesh. Nothing at all. I don't care what it is. If it's got flesh on it, flesh around the bones, around the cartilage, I don't put nothing past them. So she think it's Kenya. Kenya think it's her. I'm inclined to believe Nene, and I'm going to tell you why. I have seen Kenya go through some great lengths to appear to be the hero, to appear to be the better friend, to appear to be the better person, to appear to be the smarter person, you know, the more well-rounded, the more accomplished person. She does a lot. She does a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised. And at the end of the day, if it's possible for Nene to have done it, it's equally as possible for Kenya to have done it, because they are two of a kind. That's pot and kettle. And they both black. You know what I mean? So, why not? Hell, at this point, the way she act towards Cynthia, sometimes she could be the person that's recording. I mean, she seems the most outraged. Really, she seems more outraged than Nene do at this point. It could be Kenya. I'm just putting it out there. I wouldn't put it past her. You're telling the girl to shut up. You're trying to ruin the girl moment with the proposal. Who knows? So, they go to try on outfits, and you know, Nene comes in Tanya has hired a lady to make all of the ladies' costume. Nene comes in. I don't think she gets a costume because both her and Eva's leaving. She has an event, and so is Nene. Nene has an event. She says she's hosting some comedy show somewhere. So she can't stay for the carnival, so I guess she doesn't need an outfit. Um, so she calls Eva over after she has basically act like she didn't see. They spoke to each other, her and Cynthia, but then she acted like she didn't really see Cynthia moving around the room. Like it was uncomfortable. She calls Eva over. Eva, can I see you for a minute? And Eva gets up and comes over there. It's just like going to see the school principal, and she's got shades on in this room, and she's just telling her, I just want to apologize to you to anything I've said or done that have offended you. And I could just feel that behind them shades she had her eyes crossed, like, like, oh, she just, it all kind of seems forced. I think she had to apologize to the ladies in order to be accepted back in the group fully, and she just started with what she considered to be the weakest link, or the easiest, which would be Candy, and then Tanya, accepting Tanya's invite to lunch, even though she was very shady to Tanya. And I mean, I guess she kind of, sort of, little bit, teeny tiny made amends with Cynthia. I guess we just gonna sweep it all up under the rug. And Eva was kind of clear with her about why she was upset with her. Doing wearing that mic and recording the conversation that they were all having together. Her, Mike, and Eva. It was kind of foul play. And Nene never says, I never intended to do that, or I felt bad about that. It's just, she basically saying this little bit to get on the even keel with Eva and just get her out of her feelings. I'm just gonna go and do this little bit. It really wasn't no big deal, no big thing. And later on, the ladies go to this skyscraper hugging thing, excursion, where they're going on this really, really tall skyscraper, and they're basically attached to the building, but they're going to kind of hang off the building, lean off the building, in a secure way, but it's still very, I guess, exhilarating and all of that. Candy is, the fearless one. I guess she is enjoying it. Portia's genuinely scared. Yvonne's going to do whatever she has to do to be on the show. Kenya's not going to be outdone. Everything is a competition with Kenya, including her marriage. So, it looked like a fun event. I would not have done it. Stuff like that just makes me feel so much more human that I'm comfortable feeling. I walk hard and carry a big stick, but I don't like being reminded so acutely of my mortality. It is terrifying. So I could see where Portia was coming from. Meanwhile, Kenya and Eva's eating. Eva's always eating. Remember that. She is down. They're down in the building. They're the only ones that didn't go, and they're talking about, Eva's like, you apologize to everyone, basically, except for maybe Portia. And once again, Nene just kind of poo-poos the situation. I really looked at, she kind of was taking her cues from Eva. Eva was like, because y'all seem like y'all were really close, like sisters. And she was like, yeah, I kind of looked at her like a big sister. And it just, for her to expose my text, why wouldn't she expose your text? You don't want people to know you call a pregnant woman or a postpartum woman fat and talk about her thighs and all of that. Well, I mean, it was no big deal because she was fat before she got pregnant. Nene, you the biggest girl out of all these girls. All these girls are diddy bopping around, basically, including Marlo. And you still got wide set hips. You still broad, in every sense of the word broad. You are still a broad and broad across. You're broad up and down. You broad in circumference. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it at all. Like, where do you get off? She really does see herself as semi-perfect. Like, I just don't get it. And she got everybody's always trying to kiss the ring. Cut that hand off and throw it to the dogs. Stop kissing people's rings. It gets on my nerves. Anyway, they all leave there and they go back. They've got to get ready. Tanya's doing like a little family dinner type thing later on that night where she's going to introduce all her friends and family in Toronto to the girls there. So they have a little time to just gather themselves, and Portia gets flowers from Dennis and she calls Lauren, and that was just a cute little exchange. And Lauren was like, I thought we'd agreed that you weren't going to be talking to him outside of the therapist. And Portia is ready to be back in love. She was ready to have her relationship back. She's ready to move forward. Lauren needs to be ready to move forward too. It is what it is. Nene did tell Eva when they was at the skyscraper that she doesn't really want to talk a lot about apologizing to Cynthia because she feels like the situation with Cynthia is so personal. And she doesn't really feel like the situation with Portia is that much more serious. She just doesn't take it as serious. And she feels like Kenya is a definite no. So we see where Tanya is there and Paul, her fiance, comes up and he has Dennis with him. And Dennis is like, I'm here to get my girl. Like, I think I want to re-propose. Like, enough is enough. I'm ready for us to get back together. And I feel like Portia's ready for them to get back together too. Now, it was some scuttlebutt that they may have gotten married over the weekend or over New Year's or something. I don't know. When they're ready to let us know, I'm ready to hear it. I think they went with Monique Samuels and her husband Chris out of town with their children. It was just good. I see Monique being very, very involved with other housewives and stuff, and I like it. I like it a lot. Monique seems like a really great girl. Anyway, let's see. So, while Dennis was in Tanya's room, Portia's on the phone talking about him, gushing over the flowers. So it was nice. They get on the bus ride. They go into this rooftop event, and they all decide to do impersonations of one another. I think that's right. And it was all spot on. Everybody did a really, really good job. Nene, you know that Kenya kicked it off by pretending to be Tanya, how Tanya is the tour guide for the whole trip. But she's doing an outstanding job. Like, she's kicked butt. I've learned quite a bit just from the little bus rides that they've had. And, Kenya is just a jealous-hearted person anyway. So you want to stand up and make fun at how energetic and wonderful Tanya is. Oh, by the way, y'all see on the date night episode where Kenya and Mark riding, and she started to tell him the story about how Mark surprised Cynthia and asked, and she said, well, we kind of, and he was like, let me guess, you open your big mouth. I'm like, Mark is on to something. He's a dick about it. Absolutely. He's a butthole about it. He's a moist, wet butthole about it. But he telling the truth. He telling the truth. He know her like the back of his hand, and he don't like her for it. And the way she's acting towards all these girls, it just solidifies it. It really, really does. It just solidifies it. She's an individual that is just flat out abrasive and offensive and intrusive and less than authentic. Anyway, everybody catches on. They think that the impression is funny, and everybody do their own. Giovanna jumps up last and does hers, and she's supposed to be Portia with a big butt running and asking everybody if they got something to eat. Well, first of all, the two hungriest people on this show has the number one hungriest person on this show is always gonna be Candy. Candy is always looking to eat, always. So I was confused as the other ladies was about it. And also Eva. Eva is like a freaking vacuum cleaner. Every time you turn around, she eating something, even if it's nothing. A cup of ice. They ain't nothing but frozen water. She eating it. It don't matter. It don't matter. Freeze air, she'll eat it, right? But you gonna single out Portia. Goodbye, Giovanna. Why are you here with those little teeth? Why do you have those little itty bitty teeth in your mouth? It's disturbing. You know, and that stupid blonde wig. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, all the ladies look fairly nice or whatever. Giovanna, of course, looked trashy and drunk as usual. We see where Paul shows up, and it's such a cute moment with him and Tanya where he shows up and kisses and hugs and loves on her. She's sitting over there with Nene and Marlo. You know Marlo is not leaving Nene's side. She is attached at the hip, and I think she's a little meaner. She's a little meaner when she's around Nene. And she didn't seem like she had nothing unkind to say to Tanya before, but as soon as Tanya walked in, it was almost like it was conversation that she and Nene had been having. But when the person that imitated Marlo went and shaded everybody about their outfit, maybe she do that. Maybe she do that anyway. Maybe Nene don't have nothing to do with it. But I just think she's a lot more standoffish and kind of mean when she's around Nene. But whatever. So Portia, Kenya, and Candy off to the side. They talking about Snakegate. And Portia says she don't think Nene lying about the recording. And Kenya's like, you don't. No, I don't. I don't think she needs to lie about that. And they said, is Giovanna cleared? No, Giovanna is not clear. We're not sure. Well, Candy been working on Giovanna, and she feel like Giovanna is ready to pop. She ready to crack any moment. So they want Portia to go over and get Giovanna and bring Giovanna over there to talk. So she does. She bring Giovanna over there to talk, and immediately Giovanna's like, what's going on? Why do you have me here? Why do you have this drink? What are we doing? I was like, you should have got her drunk first. Should have got her drunk first. You didn't offer her a drink. You get her drunk. And then when you offer her that next round, you say, so you didn't do it. Are you sure you didn't do it? Because she said, I don't know nothing about the situation, which is something she was told. I don't know nothing about the situation. In the next breath, you saying, oh, I know who did it. Well, either you don't know nothing or you know who did it. Which one is it? Which one are we talking about? You don't know nothing or you know something or what? What's going on? It's ridiculous. Then she starts saying, I just don't know how to read you ladies. You girls are the nicest, or less than genuine. Something she was saying. She was being shady, and all the ladies was like, what the heck are you talking about? Why is you here? Like, what is you doing? Like, you feel this way about the group? Why is you here? Why is you working so hard to try to be one of the girls? You know, she's just being all smug and woo-de-woo-de-woo. I mean, They all get back together and gather around. Tanya does a beautiful speech introducing the two groups of friends and family members. And she and Paul standing there together. And then she said she wanted to introduce a special guest, someone who knows about love. Dennis is sneaking through the crowd, and it shows up. It's him, and he's pulling Portia out, and everybody's like, woo, and it goes off. What y'all think about Nene? I just I just feel like it's true what they were saying. She's coming off of this suspension. She knows she has to play nice. She's taking all of the girls strategically, side by side. She knows that if she just glazes past this thing with Cynthia, Cynthia is not going to hold her feet to the task. She's going to allow her to schmooze on by it. And even when her and Cynthia were slapping five there, while Giovanna and Candy and Kenya and Portia were talking, Cynthia and Marlo, may have even been Tanya, was sitting over there, and they were talking, and it's just like regular old good times again, and slapping five and all of that. And Nene just seemed so fake with it, less than genuine. She just really seemed like she was doing what she had to do, what she needed to do, basically. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that whole situation. Let me know what y'all think about Giovanna. She just what is she doing here? She not even a good bone collector. She not a good pot stirrer. Like, I just don't see the point in her at all. When she got up and did that lame behind impression, I was just like, girl, you, it's true. You are the thirstiest. You are thirsty. You are hungry. You are dry. You're moist. You're chunky. You're smooth. You're everything. You everything and nothing at the same time, baby. You hot, cold, and lukewarm all at the same time. Like, get away from me with this. Y'all tell me what you think and put it down below. Until next time, honeybees. I holla.